Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Puncture's Toy Box. So today we're doing a vintage Star Wars custom where we take a head off a modern figure and put it onto a vintage body. So today we're going to be doing Longsnoot Garindan, the Imperial spy from A New Hope in the Mos Eisley. This is the culprit in question. He wasn't released back in the day. This was first released in 1997. Collectors went nuts back then, and they decided, oh, you know what, I'm going to make a custom out of this and give it that vintage style look to match with my original figures that these figures should have been released back in the day, but they weren't. And it's a popular custom. It's very easy to do, and what most collectors do, most customizers do, is use a vintage Death Star quad commander. Can't even say it right. So the reason why this is a common custom is because they both have a grey uniform. They both have black gloves and black boots, and that's it. You just swap the heads over. And also, you can make a black vinyl cape similar to Darth Vader, to give it that vintage style look. So we need to take the heads off first. I'm not going to use this one, do not worry, it is pristine. What is a written rule or unwritten rule that we only use beaters for customs? So I'm going to be using this one. It's pretty much knackered, it's black, the paint wear's pretty much gone on the gloves and boots, and when I had it, its head was completely missing and the neck peg was rattling around inside the torso. It was very similar to this one here that I had. It came in pieces like that, except it had no head. So what I've done, I've repaired it. As you can see, there's a big crack there, so I've glued that back in. I've put some milliput in and I painted it grey, and it was all cracked down there as well. So I fixed that and it's ready to go. Also, while I was there, I did create a little neck peg for this new head to fit on. So now you've got to take the head off the modern figure. To take the heads off vintage figures and some modern figures, you do a method called boil and pop, where you put the figure in boiling water. What this does, it makes the rubber, the plastic, more pliable, bendy, and it allows you to twist the head. At the moment, it won't come off. So I'm going to pop that in some boiling water. Bit of dark side of me. There we go. Should let that settle for a minute or two, and then we'll take the head off. In terms of the cape, I'm going to use a Darth Vader cape. Well, I'm going to make my own cape, the same size as a Darth Vader cape, but we do need to make it a little bit smaller because Darth Vader's taller than this figure. So we're going to make a Darth Vader cape, and we're going to take 1 centimetre off the bottom, so it'll go on this one quite nicely. Nearly ready. Always use some pliers or a towel to get the figure out. It's hot. See, it's starting to come now. There you go, you heard it click. Oh yeah, we'll take off this one. So his head's come off quite nicely. That's called boil and pop. Quite a common method. And here he is, the old one. You see, yeah, it's very. You can see why it's a popular custom. I mean, look at that. I mean. There we go. Let's see if this fits now. The ultimate test. I'm 90% sure it'll fit. Okay. Yeah. That goes on quite nicely, rotates quite nicely. give it a test now. Yeah, it doesn't come off. I'm happy with that. Happy with that net post I made. Yeah. However, if you're making one and you took in the net post off this, when you take the net post off the original ones, when you're putting it in the one you want, you got to be really careful with these 1977 ones, because they don't have a Empire Strikes Back Return Jedi figures have this from the vintage era, have a neck post on, and they just pop off quite nicely. But the older ones don't. They have a neck joint that goes all the way in, so you got to be really, really, really gentle when you're pulling them out. So if you took the head off yours vintage one, you'll have something very similar. Let me just squeeze these pieces back together on the Ben Kenobi. You'll have something like that. So you'll pull that out. It'll be very, very tough to get out, but it will come out using the boil and pop method. Sometimes you may break the head because it's quite brittle plastic, but it will come out with gentle pulling, and you'll be left with a hole like that. So to reattach the head on something onto obviously that sort of body, so you can be left with a hole like that. So you need to create a new neck post. So you can. Let me just take the head off this one again. So you can create something like I've done. Put a little bit of plastic. I've got a little plastic ball in there. You could use Toy Poy's Lego method. You could use what have I got in here. Show you as an example. Yeah. You could use a wooden dowel, sand it down, stick that in, then stick that inside the hole of the body. You could use a wooden dowel. You can maybe use a raw plug somehow. Just bits that I find bits lying around, and I use that. I found this little bit off a coat hanger. You could stick that inside the body, have it sticking out, then sand that off, and that will click on quite nicely. So, be creative, use different things. There's something else as well. Yeah, this is what I used. I use a closed retail tag, not similar to that. So you see that bit there? I cut that bit off, and I insert it into the hole there, and just glued it all in, sealed it all up. Yeah, so that's what I used. Yeah, closed retail tag. But be creative. I say you could use Lego, a wooden dowel. You could even just super glue it on. So let's put this back on again. Yeah, so there you go. That's quite nicely looking good so far. At a later date, we are going to be removing this red insignia. I'm going to be repainting obviously the gloves and boots, the belt. I may even get a bit funky and create a gun holster for him. I'm not too sure yet. And I'm also thinking about making a vintage walkie-talkie like he had in the film, make an accessory for him as well. Okay, right, so we'll get on to making a cape now. Okay, cape making time. So to make yourself a cape, you first of all need a template. Now you grab yourself a vintage Darth Vader cape, take one off a figure, or if you've got anything spare, knock it about, grab all of them. I've got a damaged one here, so what I do, I drew around this onto a piece of paper, card actually, and I coloured the holes onto with a felt tip pen where the arms go, and I was left something similar to this. So this is your Darth Vader cape template. You then stick it onto some black vinyl of some sorts. There's a few options you could do. You could use a black PVC vinyl folder, which you can get from a stationery shop, or you could use a blow up beach toy like a football or something, which most people use. Only costs you a couple of quid off eBay. Yeah, just stick onto that, and then just cut around it. For the holes, you just use a hole punch. It's as simple as that, because the holes on the vintage capes from the era, the holes are pretty much identical, to hole punch hole, which is quite handy. So these are the capes that I was left with when I made. So I made two. I made one with a squared edge and one with a curved edge. I think I'm going to use the squared edge one because Vader and Kenobi both had the squared edge, so I think I'm going to go with that. Yeah. I made my cape from some black PVC vinyl insulation tape. I had kindly found this on the road which is left by some BT engineers, or phone engineers, you may know them as, which is quite handy. So I just put onto that and wash the adhesive off. And to be honest with you, it's very, once I've done it, it's very similar to a vintage cape. To be honest, I mean, I wouldn't even notice the difference, really. It's really that good. I'm really pleased with that. Yeah. Having an idea for the gun holster. So I was thinking about making one of those as well, just to give it a bit of differentiation from the Death Squad Commander body. So I've got a Luke off leg here. It's in my parts box. Someone's put in a sharpener for some strange reason. I don't know why you want to do that. So I'm thinking about cutting this out and grafting it onto the leg, just below the tunic. I've got a picture here somewhere. Yeah. So something similar to that. Yeah, so I cut that out, stick it just there, and maybe just put a strap around its leg. I think I use milliput for that, maybe cut into it slightly, and then put some milliput around the edge. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do next. Okay, so we're back. I've created a gun holster. I took off the Luke-off damaged leg, which I showed you earlier, and I've cut it to shape and grafted it onto the leg. I also cut an incision into the leg all the way around here, and got a rubber wire and put that around for the gun strap. I also had to repaint some of this because I damaged it. I painted it best I could. I think it matches. I mean, it looks okay from here. When you've got the cape on it, you won't really see, but it's not too bad. It's about, I would say, about an 85% match. So now we're going to start to paint it. So we're back. It's been 24 hours later. The paint's had time to dry. I painted the belt off camera. It was a bit fiddly. I painted it all black all the way around and repainted the silver buckle, very similar to the original Death Squad Commander. The boots come out nice. The gun holder has come out nice, and the strap, which has a rubber wire, that's come out nice as well. I repainted the hood because that was kind of a purpley huey colour on this figure, but obviously to match with the black gloss on the gloves and boots, I've repainted that as well. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I also nicked off a little stud that was on these gloves, so I've nicked that off, and I've also rubbed the insignia off. I scraped it off with a knife, left a bit of a sort of dull texture to it, so I just put the mid sheen varnish over the top of that, so give it a bit more shine again. One thing is bugging me is the belt. It doesn't seem quite right. I don't know. I mean, I'm happy the way it is, but I don't know. I mean, when I compare it to that, this has got a kind of square belt, and this one obviously has the original kind of circle. So I'm thinking, if I get some milliput and square these off where these, I don't know, ammunition belts or something around here, and just make one solid band all the way around, and then yeah, nick that bump off and square it off, make it into a little square. They look quite good, so I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, so I've got some milliput here. I've already made some. It's a 2-part compound. It comes in grey and yellow. You mix these two together in equal amounts, and you just put them together and you rub them together for about 5 minutes, and eventually you get something that looks like that, and it dries really hard, so it allows you to sand it, yeah, and sculpt it however you like. So that's what I'm going to do now. Make that belt solid all the way around. Chance to tidy the milliput up. Just gone straight line all around there, make sure it's all nice and tidy. So what we've got to do now is let the milliput go off, which will take about 24 hours, and I can sand it down, make it all nice and straight and level, and I can etch in a bit of detailing, say we like a little rectangle just there, similar to that one, and I'll paint it look all metallic silver and paint the rest of the belt, and then I'll be done. So I'll see you after I've done all that in the next clip. So the milliput has had time to go off. I've sanded it down to a nice smooth line all the way around here, filling all the gaps, and also created a rectangular buckle. So we're going to paint all this black now, and this bit metallic silver, and I think I'm done. Yeah, I'm going to be happy with it once it's like that. Yeah, and then after I've done that, we'll put the cape on, give him a little communicator like he had at the in A New Hope when he was yeah, ratting out on Luke Skywalker. So that's what we'll do now. We'll paint the belt. So we're back, the paint's had time to dry. And there you go, he's finished. You see he's got a nice buckle, all the paint around the side. It's got a nice finish to it. So yeah, I'm really happy the way it turns out. So if we compare its belt to the original sculpt, as you can see, it's completely different now, so it differentiates from the sculpt of the discard commander. Yeah, so the belt and the gun holster and leg strap. So yeah, really pleased how the belt buckle turned out. So yeah, that's it. I think he's ready to go in the collection now. Like I said, you didn't have to do, if you do one yourself, you didn't have to do any of this. Didn't have to do that, I didn't have to do that. All you had to do was just take the head off the Planet Force figure and just put a cape on it. And yeah, that's all we had to do. But I decided to just make it a little bit more different from that original sculpt, just to give it a bit more uniqueness. Yeah. So we'll pop its cape on. Checking all the armholes. There you go. Yeah, it's pretty cool to me. Nice little gap that I was talking about. Yeah, and I did say I was going to make a communicator for him. So years ago, back about 1999, maybe 2000, when I finished my lease collection, I was getting most of them off eBay, and more often than not, I'd be sent some reproduction weapons. So I tossed these aside, put them to one side, just kept them as a reference really, just in case I get them again. Of course, all my original collection now has got all the original weapons, but I have kept the reproduction just for reference case. And amongst them is this cloud car or TIE fighter weapon. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the end off this. It's nice, yeah, that bit there. And that will be his communicator. Because in the film, it does. In the film, his communicator looks like that, but it's very small and it fits in his hand. And that's why I thought that there will be perfect and it fit his hand quite nicely. Yeah, so give that a go now. we go. So there he is, finished. And you know, I'm really happy with that communicator turned out. Just chopping the end off the TIE Fighter cloud car weapon. You know, finished off quite nicely, fits in the hand lovely. And you know, I'm really happy with that. Yeah, so have a go at making one yourself. Like I say, you didn't have to do all the things that I did. You know, have some fun. Hope it gets you into customising figures. I've done loads of customs over the years. I made a slave layer last year, which I was really pleased with. I'll have to maybe showcase that in another video. But anyway, if you like this video, click the like button, the subscribe button, make some comments, please, be them positive or negative. Feedback is always appreciated. Okay, and I'll see you in episode 3. Bye bye.